Hello, just a short clip really for the private lessons section. This is the bit where the lessons you're doing with your mums and dads and friends and family who are helping you out as you learn to drive, which is all good stuff. I am aware though that it can be quite intimidating, and if I'm not there you're feeling like you need to rush things a little bit, and I'm trying to just do a couple of minutes clip to say try to resist that feeling of rushing. Everybody's been in your situation for learning how to drive, and so there is an understanding of how that feels, and you've got as much right to be on the road as anybody else. It's important to say that. Feel like you've got to get out of everyone's way, and you haven't. You know, you're learning something new, and what I say to you is just break things down, do it in slow time if you can, in much the same way as you would do if you were sort of learning the piano or something. You wouldn't be doing it fast time, you wouldn't be doing normal time, you'd be slowing things down. It's kind of the same with the learning to drive as well. Easy thing for me to say though, let me give you a couple of examples. So when we're moving off, what we do is we set our feet to the correct point, so we'll have some gas with the right foot so that we don't stall when we eventually do move off. The left foot sets the clutch point exactly where we want it given circumstances, and then we keep our feet still, don't we? The observations going on to make sure it's safe for us to go, particularly the right shoulder, for the blind spot checks, cyclists, motorcyclists. And then the last thing is, let's say it's a pause where you've had the handbrake on. When that handbrake goes off, keep your feet still. There's a tendency to think you've got to get cracking now, I've got to do things, and you don't. You really don't. You've taken the trouble to set your feet exactly where they need to be. Keep them still. So when that handbrake goes off, keep your feet still. Do it in your time, so that you're controlling the car, you're the driver and you're controlling the car. Do it in your time. Another example would be with gear changes. Don't rush it. Put pauses in. So say you're doing a 2 to 3, clutch goes down with the left foot, fully down, pause, do the gear change, pause, bring the clutch up. Try and do this when you're doing your lessons with your parents. Try and do that, because what happens is if you rush it, if the clutch, for starters, if the clutch doesn't go all the way down to the bottom, when you do actually do the gear change, you can hear the clunking of the gears. Not good for the car. It's because the clutch pedal isn't all the way down. Get that clutch all the way down, pause, do the gear change. Say you're doing a 2 to 3, don't look down at the gear lever. Do your gear change in slow time, don't rush it. If you rush it, what can happen is you're forcing the gear lever into, say, the wrong gear. You're forcing it into first gear instead of third, which isn't good for the engine again, as well as being a bit of a surprise for everybody when the car starts to slow down quite dramatically. When the clutch comes back up again, do it in slow time. Do it coins width a second. Don't rush it. If you ping that clutch pedal up, goes into gear again, it's kind of showing a lack of control, which is not what we want. We're after doing things in a controlled way. Another example is when you're pulling the car over, and on the test examiners say pull it over a safe, legal, convenient place. So you have to make an assessment of what is safe, legal, convenient. There's a tendency to think you've got to pull it over in the next 10 seconds. You don't. It's not being timed like that. You've got to be making a good assessment, a good judgment of where is the right place to park. And once you've made that, once you've got somewhere lined up in mind where you're going to park, you need to be considering whether a signal is required or not. Well, how are you going to make that judgment? You need to be doing those observations. And so you do the observations, decide whether a signal's or not, and then you bring yourself over towards the curb into the parking reference point. How are you judging that? Don't judge it properly, and it's inconsistent, and the result is, or can be, that you ended up crunching the near side wheels against the curb. Never good, not good for the car. Shows a lack of control as well. Or alternatively, too far away, in which other road users don't actually know somebody behind you. Are they actually parking? Or it adds confusion. So break it down, take your time, don't rush. A little bit like we do when we go on a 10-pin bowling, just a bit of fun. You watch people there, it's only a bit of fun. Well, I know they do it competitively as well, but I mean, just taking it as a bit of fun. You watch them when they do it. They don't just get hold of the ball and just bung it down the bowling alley. Not most people anyway. You watch what they do. Getting hold of the ball, they square up onto the bowling alley, and they're visualising it. They don't know that this is what they're doing. It's not, no one's taking it that seriously, but that's what they are in effect doing. What do I need to do now? Where am I? how am I going to do it, and what do I need to do, and where am I aiming for? That's actually they're doing it. They slow it down. Exactly the same kind of routine mindset with the driving. Slow it down. Don't rush. Don't be intimidated. Okay, happy driving.